Your time's up, I done touchdown. I'm high stepping for the touchdown. I stay repping for the slums where the young bucks started loaded up just to bust rounds.
Let's move on. Enough of the music. We're not a music podcast. I wish we were. That'd actually be great. But
yeah.
Some big news. Let's break down our teams. Actually, we're going to start with you, RJ. Mike Vrabel was the AFC coach in the Pro Bowl. And any news coming out of your camp besides that? Give us a recap what you've heard on the Titans since the playoff loss.
It really has just been that. I mean, we're trying to. I hope we re-sign Harold Landry, but I got a feeling we might not. Just looking at our salary cap, that's really the most I've really gotten. The most I've been reading.
Y'all extended J. Rob and Vrabel too.
Yeah, we did.
Oh,
yeah. I didn't know if you guys already did a show on that already, so that's why I didn't say anything. We did extend them, so it'll be more of the same. Hopefully,
now I have a question from that playoff game. I haven't been on, so I haven't been able to ask a Titans fan.
Oh, yeah, go nice.
I was recently in Nashville. I went for a bachelorette party. Shocker, I know. And it was really cold. First of all, I got to see falling snow for the first time in my life. I have never seen falling snow in my life. I looked like Winona Ryder and Edward Scissorhands in the middle of the streets of Nashville. Like, oh my God. Wow. And everyone's looking at me like I'm a crackhead, but it was great. Also met my biological brother for the first time. That was cool. But the best part of my trip, besides my friend getting married and celebrating her, was talking shit to the Titans fans, because we were there the weekend that it was supposed to be the AFC Championship game, right? So I don't own a coat or cold wear except for what I wear to the Jags game. So I had a Jags beanie on. I also have a Jaguar starter jacket, but I didn't wear that out. They were fortunate. But I had this Jaguars beanie on. This guy comes up to me. He's like, "You got some nerve wearing that around here," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, what? You guys play Sunday?" He's like, "No." He's like, "No, do you?" And I said, "Oh, no, we don't, sir. But you can't tell me anything that I don't already know myself. We suck." So, but I did ask him this question. I was like, all bullshit aside, do you feel like maybe, and I'm going to ask you this question, I won't say his answer. Do you feel like maybe the Titans scheme that they ran without Derrick Henry, that maybe possibly they're better off without Derrick Henry?
Ooh.
For that game, or you just saying for in general?
Moving forward?
Moving forward? Yeah, you talking about moving forward, or you talking about for that game?
So when Derrick Henry got hurt, right? You guys had some games that you struggled. I mean, Derrick Henry was there for the Jets, correct?
Yeah.
So Derrick Henry got hurt, and then you guys had to play a completely different offense built without him there, and you guys balled out. So maybe Derrick Henry, instead of being your star player, maybe he's holding you back.
That's a good question. I would. That's tough.
It's a hard pill to swallow.
It is a hard one, because I was talking with some Titan fans the other day, and I was asking them, I'm like, do y'all think Derrick Henry's going to come back and be the exact same player that he's always been? Is he gonna be a superstar? Because I mean, you look at games like, especially the second time we played the Colts when he got hurt. I mean, we were just running them into a brick wall at that point in time, and it's like, all right, man, are we trying to run to see if he's going to break one? Or if he's hurt, I highly doubt he's going to break one. But when I feel like whenever Deontay Foreman comes in, it seems like the box lights up. It's like they try to play for the pass when Deontay Foreman is in. So right. Deontay Foreman is going to get off because because the box is lighter. But when Derrick Henry in, it's like okay, we got 10 people in the box now, so we're gonna once you come in, we usually have like 3 tight end sets or 2 tight end sets.
I had that aha moment watching that playoff game, right? Because when I heard that Derrick Henry was activated for that game, I was like, oh shit, well there we go. Because I told the girls we were going with, they don't watch football. I'm like, look, if they win this game, that game is going to be in Nashville. So we need to get our shit together and plan everything we need to plan, because it's going to be busy as crap down there. And so I was like, they're going to win. Their star player is coming back. And then that didn't happen. It was quite the opposite. It was almost like not a completely different team, but a different team that we had seen in weeks prior. So that sparked this idea that maybe the offensive scheme they create around Derrick Henry maybe is not working for the Titans. Not that I want to see you guys succeed. Trust me.
No. I mean, you speaking from a football fan standpoint. I'm very critical of Derrick Henry. I'm probably like Derrick Henry's biggest critic. Like, I think Derrick Henry is the best running back we've ever drafted. And one thing I always noticed about him is he runs soft. Like, even in the playoff game, he ran soft. Like, if you go back and watch that game, because I went back, it was hard, but I went back and watched that game. And whenever for instance, that 2-point conversion that we did at the one, we handed Derrick Henry the ball. Derrick Henry could have got that touchdown. Well, they got that 2-point conversion. All he had to do was stick the darn ball out. Like, he got hit in the leg and he went straight down. It was like, I'm like, what is he doing? Like, can he at least stick the ball out? Like, I understand it isn't the greatest call to just run it up the middle, but like, he got hit in the legs and it's like the ball was right there at the line. All he had to do was just, stick the ball out. You would have got it. And it's a whole different game from there. Man, it's just man.
I think it's really strange about that game, and I think it's funny you mentioned it. To me, it looked like Derrick Henry was walking sometimes. Like, that's how slow he looked.
Well, we all know that Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henry until the end of the season. Like, it takes a while for him to...
Yeah, so there's that, and then there's also... that makes me start to wonder, and we'll find out, right? We've got 7 months. He's actually got time to sit down. Is that foot injury, the Liz Frank injury, which is not a very good injury for especially a running back to have,
right.
Is that an actual bigger impact than we think it is?
And
are we going to see the same Derrick Henry? Yeah. Are we going to see the same Derrick Henry? Because that was 10 weeks, right? And that's in no way, shape, or form is 10 weeks enough time, especially for a running back who uses their feet, enough time to recover from that injury. That's a season-ending.
Well, that's what ETN had, and he had the entire season.
I blame that game more on Tannehill because obviously Derrick Henry wasn't going to win that game, and you could just tell by watching it Derrick Henry wasn't going to win that game, and so the game was put in Tannehill's hands, and you seen what he did. He went out there threw 3 interceptions. But I would put
that game on Vrabel because Foreman was hot. I don't know why you didn't give him the ball more. Like,
I agree with that too. He should not have got 4 carries. And also I got to go back to that Ravens game. You go back to the Ravens game last year. That was that was in Nashville. I mean, granted, we didn't have no defense, but I mean, Derrick Henry was running soft. Like, dude was like running like they just gonna give him the hole. Like, no, bro, you're gonna have to put your shoulder down and hit somebody and scare them at least, or wear them down, do something. Like, you can't just the team is relying on you.
Right.
And I get on a lot of Titan fans that want to bash Tannehill, and I'm like, what is Derrick Henry doing? Like, there's going to be a point in time we're going to have to start blaming Derrick Henry for these losses because we don't give Tannehill the dub whenever he go out there and throw 3 touchdowns. It's all because the defense so worried about Derrick Henry, but they don't want to give Tannehill the dub. But when we lose, it's all Tannehill fault, this, that, that. I'm like, nah, we can't.
Well, I mean, that's like anytime you have like a player on your team that's like the savior, all the message boards are going to blame literally
somebody that isn't the savior. I mean,
it's like with Trevor Lawrence. Nobody wanted to blame Trevor Lawrence for anything this season from the Jaguars camp.
I mean, there's no way you really could.
You could.
I think it's the same for any quarterback. I mean, as a Colts fan, everybody is so ready to throw, Carson Wentz for the 2 big games at the end of the season, which admittedly he was horrible. There are 3 games where Carson Wentz were amazing, and we lost all 3 games because the defense was shit. It made a mistake, and it's almost like, and I compared early in the season to like the Cowboys teams of old, where Tony Romo would get the Cowboys up by like 20 or 30. The defense would blow the lead. Tony Romo would throw a pick, and it's all Tony Romo's fault. So
that's what happened to the Niners, man. Like my friend's a Niner fan, and he's like, "Oh, it's all Jimmy G." I'm like, dude, I'm gonna tell you this right now. When Jimmy G gone, y'all gonna miss him. I'm gonna let you know they're gonna miss him. I'm telling you. Right.
Although I think Trey Lance is gonna be a beast, but still, that's beyond the point.
He's gonna be nice, but it's gonna be a minute.
So I mean, it goes back to say the quarterback is everything for a franchise, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why there's so much value in a guy like a Mahomes or a Burrow or a Herbert. These are guys that
even Mahomes was getting a lot of fan kickback.
Yeah, the Chiefs fans up here want to trade him.
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, we'll take him.
Wait, what? They want to trade Mahomes? Wow.
I mean, yeah, but those are guys that you can Matt Stafford this season. Like, those are guys that you can count on regardless of what's going on around you. More often than not, right? There's the caveat, right? For you Mahomes guys that want to trade Mahomes to any team that's not the Chiefs, more often than not, you can count on those guys. And that's why I think the league this year, now we've seen it evolve again. It's all about the quarterback, weapons, and pass rush. You need the quarterback. You need people that can adjust to what the quarterback is doing. And then you need a fucking defensive line that's going to eat the quarterback's shit, right? Like, that's the key to winning these days. Like,
I think that was part of Burrow's problem last night is his line could not stop.
Yeah.
The Rams' defensive line. That was his problem.
Which was
we kind of knew that. Right? We knew that. Yeah, we knew that coming in.
Yeah, that was rough to watch.
That helps us Texans fans.
Yeah.
So
it's not like the Rams' offensive line was spectacular either. They were horseshit too. But they were good enough to give Stafford just enough time. I think you were talking about it earlier, Matt, maybe before the show, and I just thought that 4th and 1, Jamar Chase is wide open.
He was wide open.
He literally has a half a second. They probably win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you could get away with having a mediocre. You can get away with having a horrible line, but you can't get away with not having great pressure. Like, Aaron Donald is the reason why Jamar Chase wasn't in the end zone. Like, So, and I've told Colts fans today, and they call me stupid. If I had to trade a package of Carson Wentz and somebody else to get Russell Wilson or something, give it to me. You want Quentin Nelson? Take him. You want Ryan Kelly? Take him. I want a quarterback that I can rely on day in and day out, regardless of the scenarios. Is going to give me a better opportunity than not to go win a football game.
Right.
And I this is Ballard's 6th year, and I started to look at it. I've defended Ballard night and day. Dude, I'm tired of not winning the fucking division. Like, I'm so sick of it. It's getting old. I'm sure Jim Irsay's like, nah, this is bullshit. Like, we shouldn't have lost the season like that. So, it's time to get aggressive and quit fucking around. Like, this this isn't fucking Peyton Manning 2000s where, the rest of the AFC, you just got to worry about the Patriots. There's 7 great quarterbacks in the AFC alone.
It's a much, and next year we'll even tell more. It's going to be a much different ballgame. I don't think it's safe to say that we maybe didn't witness the best quarterbacks of all time. I don't think we'll ever get that caliber all together in the league at the same time.
Dude, it was insane. Yeah, this is probably the best playoffs I've ever seen.
Yeah,
by far. There wasn't outside of the wild card. Like, dude, all the games were good. Like,
even the wild card, it was just the Bills and the Patriots. That was a blowout. Every other game was close.
No, the Steelers and Chiefs was a blowout too. Chiefs ran out of.
You got Vegas and the Vegas and the Bengals was a good one. What was the other wild card that was on the Cowboys and the Niners? That was a very, very good game. So.
Yeah, that was a sloppy game, but it was close the entire time. But again, this is probably the best playoffs beginning to end. We've, division round every game.
Even the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is great too.
Shit, what a great game that was. I mean, and this is just what it is. Like, and if you look at the quarterbacks of all those teams, Joe Burrow, Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, like these are all excellent quarterbacks. And regardless of what was going, and they're all except for Matt Stafford, and regardless of what was going on around them, those guys were keeping their teams in games, and they weren't, screwing it off for their teams. I think the league it's taking another step of involvement, and you don't really need, you need like a top 10 quarterback, top 12. Once you get into that outside of the top 12, it's kind of iffy.
You're not going to win much.
Well,
unless you just have a complete team around them. Like, it's kind of, you got to literally, you got to be literally.
You can't make any mistakes.
That's actually a really great segue. Speaking of top 10 or 12 quarterbacks with nothing around them, Matt Grieve and the Jaguars.
Wait, what top 10 or 12 quarterback do y'all have?
Trevor Lawrence with nothing around him, no weapons, no nothing.
I do want to see what Trevor Lawrence look like with an actual team, like with a team that's actually going to win.
Regardless of whether or not you want to be in denial, Harish, Trevor Lawrence is the best thing to come out of the draft quarterback-wise since Andrew Luck.
Nope. No, I can agree with that.
As in like a surefire prospect, yes, but as in quarterback talent, no. Andrew Luck is.
He has a lot of flaws that were not looked at that I mentioned last year before he was drafted and got laughed at. Well, literally everything has to be perfect for Trevor Lawrence for him to work out. Well, and it happened in Clemson, and it's happening at the Jaguars.
Let's let Matt commentate on this, but I will comment that he didn't even have a coaching staff. But
that's what I'm saying. He's got to have it all.
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, any team has to have it all. Go ahead, Matt.
I mean, I think most quarterbacks.
We got a coach now. Go ahead and comment on that.
Most quarterbacks, most players, it's a scheme fit, right? I think we alluded to that earlier, right? A lot of people are successful because they're in the right scheme. I mean, look at Tannehill, garbage in Miami, and he goes to play action heavy Tennessee, and he's doing all right there. But
they actually thought he was elite, Matt. He went to Tennessee, and they thought he was an elite quarterback.
Hey, just for the record,
today we have confirmed
I never thought he was elite. I never thought he was elite. I thought he was a good quarterback. I put him in the top 10, but I never said elite. So that don't. Hey,
I'm about to go look for these receipts after the show. But go ahead, Matt.
But no. So yeah, we have a new coach, Doug Pederson. I guess I'm excited about it. I'm warming up to it. I would have rather had
Matt Briggs, why does our caption say Doug Pederson with a question mark? Are you questioning?
No,
Doug Pederson? Maybe.
No, question if he's a good trainer.
I'm warming up to the idea. I didn't like how the relationship between him and Wentz soured there at the end. And from the stories that came out, they didn't even talk for like the last couple weeks that they were together. That's just a bit of an immature way to go about it, being the head coach and your all-star quarterback. But so I wasn't too excited about that because the future of the Jaguars is going to be Trevor Lawrence, and for me, I wanted to bring in somebody that was gonna help usher Trevor Lawrence into this new era, right? And but I'm warming up to it. You listen to the radio hosts and all the great things that Pederson has to bring, and yeah, he does have a good track record working with quarterbacks. So I don't know. We'll see.
A little bit of Stockholm syndrome, right? Like like one of the quarterbacks he helped develop, and he broke his clavicle 11 snaps into the first game. So
yeah,
I got a quick question for the Jag fans. So who you guys getting in the draft? Number one.
Oh,
trading it.
Evan Neal.
Evan Neal.
If you're smart,
are you gonna pass on Thibodeau?
100%.
Trading it for Jalen Ramsey.
100%.
Everything's all about Trevor Lawrence right now. Get him somebody who can protect him a little bit.
Man, that dude is a beast.
He is a beast, but
did y'all hire that
franchise is going to be the guy who throws the ball?
Didn't y'all end up hiring that VP from Minnesota?
Has it been official yet?
I don't know if it's been official yet or not. It is.
Was it official?
He is very pro trading out of the first pick.
Which I'm fine with. I'd like to see Evan Neal, but if we can get
you can trade back and get Green would be.
We have a lot of holes that we need to fill on the line. Our skill positions. DJ Chark, he may not be back.
That's some drama right there. DJ Chark removed all Jaguars stuff off of his Instagram and unfollowed the Jaguars.
Oh really?
Maybe he's hanging out with Kyler Murray.
Maybe he's hanging out with Kyler Murray. Yeah. Maybe they're going to go to the Lions and turn them around into 4-win teams instead of 3-win teams.
But if we stay in the first pick, I'd like to see Evan Neal. Thibodeau is a beast, but he's not going to be the one throwing the touchdowns. Yeah. And that's as we saw yesterday, it was the quarterbacks that won the game. I mean, Sam Darnold, you're not going to find another Sam Darnold. I mean, that guy's when you talk about Trevor Lawrence be generational, Sam Darnold is generational. Thibodeau might be, but I'd like to see Evan Neal. Doug Pederson, like I said, I'm okay with. I'm warming up to the idea. Press Taylor, I believe, is our OC.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Am I right? He's 34 years old?
Something like that. So the thing about Press Taylor,
he's younger than me.
Yeah. The thing about Press Taylor was the QB coach for Carson Wentz.
Right.
That noticed all of his issues and didn't fix them.
Maybe he wasn't allowed to.
But he was under Doug Pederson. So what makes you think it's going to change again?
Right.
So I think it's a red flag there. Like, I think that's something to keep in mind of. I did some reading on Press Taylor because I heard that there were some connections between him and Carson. Yeah. And that's what I read was Press Taylor did not fix any of the mechanical issues that Carson had, which is what he came to Indy with, and they had to basically reteach him how to do a lot of things. Right? So I think that's something to be very well aware of because that's very scary.
Well, let's hope, with a couple years under his belt, he's maybe learned a little bit more because, man, I mean, he's the offensive coordinator, so I'm hoping we'll have a passing coordinator or a quarterbacks coach that'll help with those. So we'll see. He's still building out his coaching staff, but
So I never realized that Press Taylor and Zach Taylor were related.
Brothers. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And Zach Taylor was the quarterback coach for Jared Goff when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Learn something new every day. Look at that. It's a sign.
I guess other news for the Jaguars. Tony Baselli finally got inducted to the Hall of Fame.
About time.
We got a Jaguar. Fred Taylor, you're next, baby.
Congratulations, man.
Fred Taylor, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think he might actually get in? I mean, he's statistically.
He deserves it, man.
It'll be Fred Taylor, and then because I know Jimmy Smith's been calling for it for a while. I would love to see Jimmy Smith in there. But I think it'll be Fred Taylor.
Here's the problem with Jimmy Smith making. I agree with you. I want to see him in there. But me and Harish already talked about this in the chat. The list for the receiver to get on is this long.
There's so many good receivers.
Oh yeah,
it's getting added onto it.
Well, I mean,
you see the receivers that didn't make it for this Hall of Fame. It was literally Corey Holt, Reggie Wayne. I'm like
Andre Johnson.
Yeah, Devin Hester, even though he's not a wide receiver, but he's more of a special team.
Well, and remember we had Jimmy Smith on this podcast, and he was talking about it. It's also how your team
represents you, right? I agree with that too.
So I think it's time for the Jaguars to move on and get Freddie T and Keenan McCardell and Fred Taylor on those lists and push them. Yeah. Instead of focusing so much. I mean, Baselli's always been team Jaguars, no matter what they're doing. He never speaks out against them where the other guys don't. I actually think I accidentally started a rumor about Keenan McCardell, by the way, too.
Jesus Christ. What the hell?
We're coming back to the Jags?
Well, yeah. Did you see my post? Yeah. I posted a picture of Keenan McCardell, and I put in the captions and quotes "Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. I was wrong, and I just can't live without you." And I tagged the Jaguars. All these people started writing congratulations under it that are his family and stuff because I'm friends with them on Facebook. I was like, no, oops, my bad.
That's funny.
Sorry, Keenan.
Why is it always you that gets into social media trouble for the wrong reasons?
I don't get in social media trouble. All I had was Yan blocking me. And what's his name? Your boy from the Colts,
Mathis.
Oh, Mathis.
Yeah.
You also had an article,
which Robert Mathis, if you're listening, you still need to come on this podcast and explain what you said prior to the season starting, because
Yeah. Also, Robert, if you need a coach, digging your board, we need a D-line coach because our last one was shit. Sorry, this wasn't the Colts time. My bad.
Yeah. And I'll say one more thing about the coaching search. I'm glad we didn't go with Leftwich. I'm probably one of the few Jaguars fans that's not happy, but I would have liked him there, I guess, as a fan. But I think X's and O's, we really need somebody. I'd hate to say it, but a safe pick.
Yeah, somebody with experience, because we already did that and it didn't work.
Right. So I mean, Leftwich, I'm sure he's got a good track record with Tom Brady, right? But who's not going to have a good track record with Tom Brady? I did like that Bruce Arians trusted him with the offense and said that he wouldn't trust anybody else with calling the offensive play. So that was a plus with Leftwich. But again, I think it's just so crucial to get the coach right with Trevor Lawrence that I get why they went with Doug or Pederson. I'm still bummed out that we have the GM, but I guess with the VP in place. But I still just don't get it. Like, why doesn't Shad Khan like you shouldn't let the fans make the decision for you? But when the fans don't want him, coaches don't want to coach with him. I mean, there's just got to be a point where
my husband, who doesn't watch football, made a very good point. They need to start listening to what the fans say, so then that way, when it all falls apart, they have no one to blame but themselves. I was like, it's a good point. That's a good point, actually. We should do that.
But it's just like, he's like, I'm going to keep him, but I'm going to hire somebody to babysit him. Like, you're admitting that he doesn't need to be here.
Who knows? I don't know if there's a contract and they already owe money to Urban. Yeah. I guess.
What nudie pictures does he have is what I'm wondering. That's probably what it is, but.
Yeah, from what I understand, Tony Khan got half the team as like part of his birthday present and isn't a fan, so there's got to be something there. I'm sure it'll get leaked to the press by Balky because that's what he does. So we'll find out. To be continued. Anything else before we get on to the Tex Homes?
Nope.
That's it. That's good. I like it. You know what? That's the best nude. So you said nudies. That's the best news we've heard from Jaguars camp in a long time. So thank you, Matt. We appreciate that. All right.
I got big things coming.
Matt Briggs, you guys also got a head coach. Give us the Deshaun Watson update. Give us like a low-key quick. Well, you guys already went over the DeAndre Hopkins. I know he's not a Texan, but by proxy.
Right.
And what's been going on with the Texans before we
Deshaun Watson, real quick on that. He's going to trial, not trial, but having a hearing in this month. So that will play a big factor on whether we trade him or what we trade him for. But yeah, all signs is that Nick Casario don't care if he wants to play or not. He's done. He's out of here, which is good. We got Lovie Smith. I'm happy about the pick. I'm just not happy about the way he did it. Nick Casario did it. It was a shit show. Like he wasn't even on your list, and then at the last minute, because you didn't want the media, the fans to hate you for hiring Josh McCown, you picked Lovie Smith. Which I get that's why he did it. Especially.
You mean he actually listened to his fans?
Well, not just that. I think the NFL had something to do with it because of the whole Brian Flores lawsuit. I think the NFL kind of stepped in and said, "Hey, look, you can't do this." So I think that's why they went that route. Who knows? Nobody was there except for who was there. So who knows why?
Is Easterby still present?
Yes, he is still.
Well, then that explains everything.
Well, that's probably is Easterby was against McCown. He wanted Brian Flores, but again, who knows?
But Brian Flores wants Deshaun Watson. So then is Easterby standing with Watson?
There's people say that Flores doesn't want Watson. There's people saying he does. The only thing they have in common is the same agent.
Because I know the day the Dolphins announced that they were firing Brian Flores, they were like, "We are firing him. By the way, we don't want Deshaun Watson."
Well, yeah, because they fired him. They fired him because him and Tua got into it.
Right, because he wanted Deshaun Watson.
Right. So I don't know. We'll never find out. Probably until next year.
Yeah.
I'm happy that we got Lovie Smith. I think it was a great move. Hopefully he doesn't get fired like Coley did this year, because there's rumors that he is going to be another gap bridge for Josh McCown. So I hope that's not true. But the dude has a proven track record, over 500 in his career. Went to a Super Bowl with Rex Grossman as your quarterback. So I'm happy. I think.
Didn't you guys go to the playoffs with Osweiler?
Yes, with Osweiler.
That doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, playoffs and the Super Bowl are two different things, though.
True. Fair enough.
I would take that. Plus, we got Pep Helmington as OC. I'm really excited for that. Lovie Smith is going to be the DC, quote unquote. So
he's pulling a Bill O'Brien and taking on multiple roles.
Well, he's pulling a Wade Phillips. Wade Phillips did the same thing in Dallas, and Mike Zimmer did did the same thing his first year in Minnesota. I think his son is going to be a big role as the DC, but they have enough problems down there in Houston. He didn't want to create more, so he didn't name his son defense coordinator. So I think that's why he went that route. But that's my Clint House theory.
Conspiracy.
Yeah. But other than unlike the Jags where everybody has a clown profile, we have Greg Beard's profile for Lovie Smith. So it's positive. I'm glad to see some positive in a negative storyline. So I'm
look at that. The Texans and Jaguars lost hope, but they're ending the season with faith. Right. This sounds very cognizant of last year.
And going back to
this is where it all begins.
Going back to what you're saying for Lawrence, the best rookie quarterback this year was the Houston Texan, David Smith.
Huh?
Yeah, best rookie out of the AFC South was Houston Texans.
Oh, okay. I was about to say that. I thought you meant in the NFL.
Did somebody retire? I didn't hear about.
I watched that rookie. So,
but not in the NFL.
No.
The AFC South.
You gotta give it to Mac Jones. He had more touchdowns than Mac Jones.
Yeah.
But their numbers are pretty close. But Mac Jones just has a little bit more touchdowns, plus a lot more games,
and a better roster to play with,
and a way better coaching staff,
and ownership,
and organization,
and organization. They have the greatest coach of all.
There's no doubt in that.
He knows how to stay out of the media. Yeah, he's pretty bad himself.
I mean.
Him and Deshaun will get along very well.
At least he's being honest.
Oh, true.
Hey,
at least it's forthcoming. Forthcoming.
I got a quick question. So I hate to bring this back to my team, but what should I expect from Tim Kelly?
Garbage.
Torture.
Garbage.
I mean,
run play.
Coordinator, like he's a pass coordinator, like
yeah. It's gonna be run play. You're going to be down third and 13, and you're going to pass. And it's going to be a screen. And it's going to get you negative yards. That's what you're going to get, Jim Kelly.
Well, that's good to hear that Derrick Henry is going to get a lot more plays.
Right.
Yeah.
So remember wanting to save Derrick Henry from a foot injury? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, Harish, I know.
On the IR.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah. Again.
Jesus Christ.
Harish, I know you we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up, but I know that you commented a little bit on the Colts earlier, but I can't go sign off without mentioning the Colts. Do you have anything else to add to your rant from earlier?
Yeah, we have a defensive coordinator. We'll see what staff he puts together. I really want the D-line coach from the Rams. Like I said earlier, winning football games now is about quarterbacks, getting to the quarterbacks and weapons. Look, they're going to look at it was rumored that yesterday that they are trying to trade Carson Wentz. Funnily enough, and we're going to throw a conspiracy theory out there, immediately after there was a report that the Seahawks are shopping Russell Wilson.
We knew that though. So, Russell Wilson is shopping away from the Seahawks. I think this is the Ballard aggressive moves that we're talking about. I think this is the offseason. This is Ballard's last chance, in my opinion. He has to go all out this year. He's not only got to get a quarterback if he can find what he's looking for. If he does or he doesn't, he needs to go get some weapons. I'm tired of not spending money in free agency.
This clearly is the year of 5 different quarterbacks, right?
5 quarterbacks in 5 years, yeah. Which again, part of it is, it's impressive that you've been able to stay in the mix with that, because that's a hard thing that's a lot of teams that have that scenario aren't going 9-8 or 10-7 or whatever we've done. So clearly he could build a team, right? Ballard's got to take some risks. You got to find a way to get yourself over the hump, right? This is now year 6 for Ballard. You got a team that's staring you in the division that's not going to get any worse. Like, I don't think Tennessee's going to get any worse.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Jaguars because somehow you can't beat them.
No, you remember
we can't beat them. We just can't beat them in Jacksonville. The only thing we can't do is beat them in fucking Florida, which is weird as shit. Like, I still can't. That still blows my mind. Trevor Lawrence. Look, if they can get the right team around Trevor Lawrence, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be amazing. But again, you can't. There's just too much talent in the AFC to not take risks. You can't continue to rely on your draft. He's done that for 4 years. You've built your core. Now go make some moves to get yourself over the hump. And anything less than a division title and a playoff win or 2 next year is not good enough for me next year. If that doesn't happen, I think Reich needs to go. And then Ballard needs to be put on the hot seat. Like, I think there needs to be real pressure on Reich and Ballard to get something done. Because Jim Irsay is tired of it. Like, I think he's been patient. Understand you build a culture, you build a roster. You've done that. And I think the Rams are the perfect piece, the perfect team of saying they've done both, right? They had a solid core, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp. They've built their core and they went and made, they've given up draft capital to go take some risks. Jalen Ramsey,
I would have laughed if they spent all of that to not execute it. I would have.
Von Miller, like they've done their fair share of both, and I think that's what you need to do. So, if Ballard is not active this year in free agency, I've been patient. If he's not active this year, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be livid. Like, I'm going to be super pissed. Like, fire Ballard pissed, like, kind of bullshit. Because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of not winning. We haven't won the division and damn near 10 years, and for most of that 10 years, the rest of the division's been mediocre to shit. Like, it's not like it's only been really competitive for the last 3 to 5 years, right? It's not acceptable to me. I'm just tired of it. So that's my rant for the Colts. Oh, and Colts fans, please stop saying that we're not gonna trade anybody. If Jim Irsay wants it to happen and Quentin Nelson needs to be traded to make the trade happen, or Ryan Kelly needs to happen, listen, the Bengals just got there with the worst offensive line I think I've seen in my existence of life in 32 years, and I've seen some pretty bad O-lines. If they can make it to the Super Bowl with that, we don't need $90 million stuck on the offensive line or whatever insane amount we have.
Well, Harish, I always appreciate your rants. We thank you for tuning in. We are going to take a couple week hiatus because obviously there's nothing going on, and pick this back up. Make sure you guys tune in. I know it's off season, but we have a lot of guests coming back that you guys saw, some familiar faces. We actually talked to Trey Smith about this before, so we're going to work on scheduling for him to come back on because he's entering the draft this year. So I'd love to get his take of like the road to the draft kind of thing. Love having him on. Make sure in the meantime that you guys join Prize Picks. Use promo code FBSN, that stands for Fan Battle Sports Network. They are a new sports betting app. It's way better than DraftKings. Harish, our own commentator this evening, has won lots of money on there. It's very user-friendly. Once again, Prize Picks, FBSN. You can find all of our commentators on social media. You can find Matthew Grieve for the Jaguars at Matthew G Sports. You can find me at Sammy Football with an I. Harish Nookala for the Colts at the Uncle Gandhi. Matt Briggs for the Texans at Cancel Tim Kelly. Which, are you going to change that handle?
I'm going to have to since he's canceled me.
Yeah, so stay tuned.
I don't want people to think I'm a Titans fan. That's the last thing I need.
Yeah, exactly. And you can find RJ Ellison in the AFC South Fan Battle group trolling all of the other teams' fans. And is it on Twitter?
Yeah, that's actually my Instagram. I'm actually going to get into doing this a little bit more. This is nothing back.
Yeah, come join us. We always need Titans.
Yeah, come flick out with the rest of your fan. I mean, come join us.
Just like the Titans in playoffs, y'all fans just disappear. So
yeah, they do for sure.
You know me. I don't mind getting on here, but if I am busy, I will let y'all know. You know, if I'm busy doing homework or if I'm busy, you know, and not on the game or something, I do a lot of games.
Oh, we always we'll get with you after. We always schedule them ahead, and so we know our commentators and swap them out. So we'll get with you after.
Definitely let us know if you're busy on a day y'all lose, because apparently
that is true. All right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in this evening, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.